So I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion today, and that's pretty much revolving around camera systems. And I want your input in the comments as well, because it's a pretty interesting discussion, well, at least in my opinion, is that I put a story on my Instagram and I asked people, do you have two camera systems? And the results were really staggering. I really wasn't expecting this. So I had 375 votes said no, but 357 votes said yes. So 49% of people who voted have two camera systems. And that was kind of baffling to me. I really didn't think that there were that many people that had multiple camera systems. Then I actually had a couple of people message me, actually a few people messaged me saying that, just two camera systems? In saying that they have, 3, 4, or even more camera systems. But we do have to put it into context as well, as that, mirrorless cameras or interchangeable lens cameras are the systems I'm talking about. DJI Pocket 3 or action cameras, small, 1-inch point and shoot cameras don't really count because of price. When it comes to mirrorless cameras or interchangeable lens cameras, they are far more expensive, specifically when you start investing in lenses. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to have this chat, is because the reason why we kind of get stuck into a specific camera system essentially is lenses. We are invested into the ecosystem. So I've got a ton of E-mount lenses. And obviously I've got my Sony microphones, cages for my Sony cameras. We're really invested in that very specific ecosystem, and we can't necessarily just go out and buy a completely different camera system because we can't use the lenses on there. But unless you have PL lenses or cinema lenses, you can actually adapt EF lenses that you can adapt to your camera. And I actually just recently bought a Sony E to Nikon Z adapter, Mega Adapt, which is pretty interesting because I do want to bring more camera systems to this channel. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I bought the Lumix S5 2X, which you guys are looking at right now, is that I wanted to appeal to more people. So I'm not sort of locked into a very specific demographic. I kind of want to try and help and teach so many more people. And this is how I'm going to do it, is bring more camera systems to this channel. And that just allows me the ability to educate more people, which I'm absolutely all for, and I know you guys are all for as well. And that's when we need to start thinking of these things as tools. And I know a lot of you guys actually understand that, but there's so many people in my comments that actually don't understand that. They want literally every camera to be released, to have every single spec under the sun. They want their drill to be a hammer, to be a mallet, to be a set of pliers, to be a rule, to be a screwdriver. You get what I mean. They want this to do absolutely everything, and that's just not how it works. We have to, as filmmakers, have specific tools for specific jobs. Let's say this is the FX6. If I need to put a whole bunch of screws in, this is the perfect thing. But if I need to put a whole bunch of nails in, then I can't take this. This won't do the job. I mean, I could try and hammer it in with this, but it wouldn't do the job. This is where I would bring that specific hammer, open gate, fast autofocus, a fan, long record times, SDI, all these things that our cameras have and different cameras have is what we need to establish when we're going into a job. And that is, I guess, one of the biggest reasons why some people are utilizing a couple of different camera systems. Now, generally, Sony will have a camera for every single person. The ZV line for the vloggers, the FX line for the filmmakers, the A7R5 or A7R line for high resolution photographers, A9 III for high speed photographers. They generally have bits and pieces in every single, I suppose, demographic and niche. But this is where they kind of, hold some features back so they don't cut into each of these lines. And that's kind of why I bought the Lumix S5 2X, because I wanted open gate. I wanted to be able to have 6K, anamorphic modes, all these kind of things that Sony won't offer, but they need to leave for the Cine line. The top end Venice, the top end Venice 2, the Burano, and those kind of things. But obviously let me know in the comments below, like I'd really love to know, do you use multiple camera systems? And if you do you have multiple lenses within each ecosystem? So do you have L-mount lenses? Do you have Sony E-mount lenses, Canon RF lenses, you know, native mount lenses? This is where things can get just really expensive. And yeah, it just kind of sucks for us consumers, because we have these camera manufacturers wanting to preserve their cinema line cameras and just, I suppose, hammering every single camera that they bring out so they don't cannibalize their higher end cameras. And if you do want to, you know, get the flagship camera, you're spending, you know, 6,000 or 7,000 US trying to get the flagship camera. And even then, the flagship camera doesn't do absolutely everything you want it to. So we're kind of, it's a double-edged sword. We're kind of buggered at the end of the day. So multiple cameras do make sense, because you just need some cameras to do a very specific thing. And I guess when it comes to different manufacturers, you know, that's just going to be benefiting us, because there's so many different manufacturers competing against each other to try and bring out the best camera. And we've seen it for years when it comes to the Nikons, the Sonys, and the Canons in, you know, that massive race. And then we've got Blackmagics, we've got Panasonic now coming up, Fuji, and Red really getting into that consumer market. And it's just, it's fantastic to see. But one thing that I really want to see, specifically with Fuji, definitely with Sony, is better firmware updates. That has been absolutely killing us for years. And not even just the actual firmware updates itself, it's literally making them work. There was a recent one for the FX3 and FX30, and apparently it was busting people's cameras, and that is just not acceptable. Even if it is up to the consumer's fault, you know, not doing the correct firmware update by putting it into here, doing this and doing that, trying to get the right firmware steps, literally just allow us to have a firmware update that you don't have to keep updating the previous ones to get to this one. Literally just make it as simple as possible. Make it literally idiot proof. Please do that. Make it the most easiest way to update, because a lot of us now are scared to update our cameras, because we use these for our jobs. We do not want them to break, and we need them. We need them to make money. We need them to put food on our table, to keep the lights running. So please make it as simple as possible. Yeah, that was a bit of an unnecessary rant, but kind of necessary at the same time. I mean, how cool is this little setup, the lighting and stuff? I like it. What do you think? So I guess really the point of the video was just a bit of an affirmation that a lot of people use different camera systems. That, you know, people aren't sort of choosing one camera system anymore. They're kind of floating between, you know, 2 or 3 different systems. And it's just obviously good for this channel to have more camera systems on this channel to help more people, larger demographic, and, you know, just great for me for personal growth as well, to try out new systems, try out new things, and just have different motivational, I suppose, factors because I have different camera systems. So yeah, thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.